Hello and welcome to another episode of Canadian Stacker. Today, we got off of that fluctuation with silver prices going up and down. Silver lost a total of $1.26 Canadian. It continued its downward trend today a little bit. When I looked last, it was down like 15 cents or so. So, a total downwards pressure of about $1.30 is what I've seen. Now, that was pretty much what was expected. If the Federal Reserve continued its rate hike, as I said in my last video, which they did pause. However, like I said, near the end of that session there, Jerome announced that there'd be 2 more rate hikes, which means a minimum of another 0.5% if he goes through with it. Now, I do know that the Fed in the past has done, 0.1% rate hikes, but let's be realistic here. He's trying to look super aggressive. Now, do I think that this is going to continue on? No. And I think that basically there will be cracks that happen and that Jerome will eventually reverse course. But when do I think that that's going to happen? I'm pretty sure probably October, November. He's going to buckle. And the reason for this is there's going to be a lot of downward pressure to bring everything in line. And start to do easing, because the banks are literally just going to start rolling up like a cheap house cards. It's just going to fall down and it's going to get worse, and Jerome's going to have to reverse course. We're not in Paul Volcker territory. We're not under $1 trillion in debt in the U.S. We're at $32 trillion and going up. Interest rates have been, down big time for like the last decade and a half. Everybody's gotten used to this interest rate level of basically dang near negative interest rates. Now, I do realize the Bank of Canada started hiking again after a pause. I think that the reason they're doing that is because inflation, as they're saying, is incredibly sticky here in Canada, holding around 6 or 7%. I do see that the problem with inflation that the government doesn't seem to realize is that Canada printed 30% of all of its fiat money into circulation in the last 18 months or so, 20 months of Canadian history. So, of course, everything in 2 years is going to want to go up 30%. And if you're going up 8, and 8, that's 24%. Of 30, you're still not there. So either they raise interest rates and start doing monetary destruction, which the U.S. is doing at like the fastest pace in history since 1929, the destruction of basically money has just been going crazy, and it can't keep doing this, because when there's a monetary contraction in the way that it is, usually bad things happen, like banks roll up, businesses go under, etc. And that's pretty much the pressure that Jerome faces right now, and that's why he can't be Paul Volcker. Back in the 80s, you had a low deficit. I'm not saying that $800 billion is small, but, in Reagan's time in the 80s there, and Carter's time, 800 billion, was a lot, but the U.S. government had a lot of things going for it. One, it was just the beginning of the petro agreement with Saudi Arabia, and the U.S. had an incredibly strong oil backing in order to drive their economy and cheap access to oil, which doesn't exist anymore. They've driven Russian oil right out of Europe. It's all flowing into India and then being processed and then reshipped back to Europe. Like, you can look at the numbers. I'm not saying that I'm financial advice. I'm not. I'm just a guy talking. But from everything that I've been reading and been seeing, basically India is benefiting richly by selling Russian oil back into the European economy. How have they been doing this? Well, they've been importing it, and then they've been refining it, and then sending it back as an Indian export. Now, that's not the world's greatest news in any way, shape, or form. Also, on top of that, BlackRock, which is one of the largest, if not the largest, money manager in the world, they have their president coming out and basically stating that they're going to push agendas. And everybody's been wondering why the Bud did what it did, and that's because of pressure, because they want to get a social credit score so that they don't have protests against them, and they don't have the monetary funds from around the world going after them, and BlackRock basically excommunicating them from the financial system. They're bowing and obeying to basically what's going on, and the only way to get out of this situation is to basically take our financial purchasing power and remove the ability for the elites to force you into a smaller and smaller box. Now, the way that they're going to do this is they're going to bring out CBDCs. They're going to attempt to control you in what I think is going to be it's going to look like a implosion, but it's going to be a controlled demolition of the U.S. fiat system and the Canadian fiat system, and basically the way that the West works, in order to bring us in under the CBDCs to totally control and access everything about us, and to bring in a social credit score. And this has been in the works for a long time. We're nearing its completion. The U.S. is rolling out its CBDC very shortly. And like has been said before, we already have digital currency. It's not like as if the U.S. government couldn't just flip the switch tomorrow and make this all happen with the USD, in which they already have, which is all run on the back of the SWIFT system. What they want, though, is real-time control. Like when you go to shop at your Walmart store or wherever you're going to shop, they want to know exactly what you purchased, how much you paid for it, what time you paid for it, and they want you to do this all probably through your cell phone, which will record all this data, and they'll be able to do all this data collection similar to what China already does with its citizens. And what they'll be able to do is micromanage the economy. They'll be able to control prices in a certain area. If the people are buying too many TVs and in Toronto, Canada, they'll say, let's up the prices of TVs in Toronto, and they'll be able to flip a switch, and that'll all change in Toronto to drive basically down the consumption in Toronto. And they'll be able to micromanage everything down to the last detail. At least this is what they think. The problem is that the more controls you put onto things, the more things like to squirt out the sides. And, you might be able to get a big computer trying to run all this, but realistically speaking, I don't think it's possible. Now, the East is going to a commodity-based system, and the East consists of, I would say, 80% of the world's population that wants away from the indentured servitude that they feel that they have towards America. Now, everybody seems to think that they're going to run to China for this. I don't see that happening. China is a big player in the game, but it is a game, and the elites control this system. And who are the elites? The elites are the people that control the banking system. And, he who controls the money controls the world, right? So how is this going to wind up transpiring? Well, BlackRock ETF is basically filing to purchase Bitcoin. Now, this is a rumor, and if BlackRock's ETF is going in on Bitcoin, this might be that BlackRock, like I was saying earlier, one of the largest purchasers of banking stuff around the world. They also dabble in purchasing stocks and blue chip stock and partial ownerships and board seats, basically, of mega corporations. If they're getting on board to go on board with Bitcoin, obviously there is some kind of trap that they're playing to try to catch people in that particular system. Also, the LME had options to squash nickel trading in hedge funds earlier in the week because they sensed another run building up on the nickel market. And this has happened in the past, where nickel has been driven to an obscene price, and everybody's trying to figure out why does nickel keep bouncing up. But what a lot of people don't realize is that in lithium batteries, nickel is actually the number one ingredient required to manufacture a lithium battery. It's needed more than lithium itself. So since there's no new nickel deposits that have been found recently in large amounts, this is driving up the price of nickel. And once again, we've got the global elites basically wanting to push us on the green agenda, and they want us to basically go down the road where we're building solar panels and these electric cars. And the reason why they want this to all happen is they basically want to computerize our automobile sector. And by doing that, they'll be able to, rather than you own a car, they'll be able to lease you the rights to the car. So you won't really actually physically own the car anymore. You'll lease the purchase agreement for the car and the technology from basically the technocrats, and you'll be able to drive around in whatever vehicle they give you. And if they don't like how fast you're going or where you're driving or how far you need to go, they can, in the future, I think, throttle back your vehicle to how many miles or kilometers or how far they feel that you're allowed to go. They'll be able to micromanage that. If they think you've broke the law, they'll be able to pull you over on the side of the road. There'll be nothing you can do. Your car will literally pull over to the shoulder for the officer, or maybe even just drive you directly to the police station in order for you to be apprehended if they think that there's some kind of crime in progress, which maybe there wouldn't be. It could just be that they want to, talk to you and you don't want to, and you're using your civil liberties to say no, I don't want to talk to you, and the officer orders you to roll your window down. You refuse. You ask to speak to another officer on the situation, and then that officer decides that no, we don't want that, and he manually triggers your car through Ford technology, which you can actually go look this up, and order your car to roll down your windows, because everything's computer operated in the vehicles nowadays, and the police just need to be able to access that through privacy laws in order to be able to force your vehicle to do whatever they want, i.e. roll down the window, shut off your ignition, pull your vehicle over to the shoulder. All kinds of technologies are available, and in some parts of the world, they're mandating that vehicles they have these kill switches and everything be put in them. I know in the U.S. there's been a law that's in the works for a while now in order to have kill switches in vehicles. Same thing in Canada. This is all being done slowly as a rollout. The old acronym. You slowly turn up the heat in the water. The frog doesn't notice, and it'll boil before jumping out. We are this frog, and these things are starting to happen. Once again, I think right now is a great buying opportunity for silver. Here's some of my collection of silver. Just a few things that I put out on the table for you to look at. Right now, where I'm at, I'm having, if you're buying from major bullion dealers like TD, if you're buying from Silver Gold Bull, I don't think they're having as much problems getting this particular product, but if you're trying to find it through a small local coin shop or through a small bullion dealer like Sol, finding Canadian maples has become a real pain in the butt for me. I can't find any at my local store up in Pembroke, Ontario. I can't find any in the smaller local stores in Ottawa. They're about an hour and a bit away from me. And it's become a real pain in the butt. And I asked Saul if he could get me some, and he said it takes a lot of time to get them. I really appreciate what Saul does, and I like to try to buy from him whenever possible. But these maples here, they've become very difficult to locate where I'm at and source unless you're purchasing them online. I don't know if anybody else has been having this problem of sourcing actual Canadian maples. It seems like almost like the Eagles, the premiums aren't super high on these, but like the Eagles, they're getting very hard to find and very difficult to order. If you're having those difficulties, leave a comment in the box. Now, for the upcoming for the 4th, I'm thinking about giving away one of these babies. I think they're absolutely amazing. They're the Harmony coin. It's a beautiful coin. I don't know if many people have seen it, but it's absolutely fantastic. Like if I turn it to the side, you can see all that inlaid work. It's 3/9 fine silver. It's got a beautiful representation of the Queen on there. I know she's deceased now, but it's still pretty, let's just look at that victory through harmony. Isn't that amazing? So I'm actually thinking about giving one of these babies away. I only was able to get one tube back in the day when they were around. I've been trying to find another location to purchase these, but for some reason or another, it's just been almost completely out of my control to locate more of these. I wish I'd got more back in the day. But just let me know in the comments if you'd maybe like that to be in the giveaway coming up. Another thing I'm going to give away in the giveaway, I'm going to give away this beautiful TD half-ounce round from TD Canada Trust. This will be one of the 4 for the 4th coins I give away. As you can see, it's just basically like a basic round. It's 3/9 fine. It's a really nice half-ounce round, and one of the lucky stackers who tune in that day will win this baby here. Now, I don't know, what's going to happen in the world, but things are changing. You know, when you've got banks like Deutsche Bank, applying for crypto custody licenses in Germany, that tells me that the big boys are starting to get on board with, you know, like crypto. The banks are starting to put their toes in the water, and the reason they're doing that is because the federal government is raising interest rates so high, banks don't have any way to gain gains, so they're going to play the crypto game and take every single person's that's in the bank's money in, and they're going to wade in, and we're going to have a big pump. And I literally see it coming, a pump in Bitcoin and all these other things to try to draw us away from basically what's happening. The halving is coming up again. The last halving drove up Bitcoin to 70,000. The one before that, I don't remember. I think it was like 20 or 18,000. And these cycles happen because, you know, every so often the Bitcoin number or the hash rate or whatever the heck it is, you know, like the amount that you get out gets cut in half. And we have another one of these great halvings coming up shortly. And it seems like the market's going to swing upwards at at the same point as Bitcoin's going to have its halving cycle. And this is literally going to drive, I think, and this is not financial advice, but Bitcoin up hard. We're going to have all these banks diving in, and we're going to have the federal government that's going to sit there and they're going to hold these higher interest rates. Let's say that we get to 6%. You know, you'll be able to get like a 1 year at like 6.5% or 7% or something like that, and the government's basically going to guarantee it, and all these banks are going to be doing this with the money, and all of the people that are in the banks are going to pull their money out, chasing either the Federal Reserve note, or they're going to chase these pipe dream options that banks like Deutsche Bank and you know, like Crypto.com and all these other large holdings are going to do, basically, and they're going to all just drive right straight into it. Now, another thing I heard about in the news is that South Korea is actually selling gold bars out of government-regulated vending machines. They've literally started sticking ATM machines filled up with varying sizes of gold that you can come by and you can pop in your debit card or however they do transactions down there, and they will spit out gold for you. Now, I'm not sure if anybody else has heard about this, but yeah, this has been trending, you know, and I've seen it pop up a few times, and I actually think it's a great idea. However, it just goes to show you that in the East they have a different mentality on precious metals than we do here. You don't have vending machines in downtown Toronto that just sit there and hand out like gold wafers. You know, for like 100 or 200 Canadian, you know, you can get yourself a 1.5 or 2 gram wafer out of the machine. But to end off this video, I'm just going to show another coin here. This is basically another coin from the government of Canada. It's a year of the cock coin from, I think it was 2013 or something. But I'm going to also put this up for the God giveaway. It is a rare coin. I would call, like, this is in mint condition. It's a numismatic coin. It is absolutely beautiful. This is going to be the grand prize coin, I think. It's 3/4 of an ounce of pure 3/9 fine colorized from the Canadian Mint in Canada, and one lucky stacker will be able to win this beautiful coin. I have a few of them, but I think they're absolutely outstanding. I'm trying to see the date on the coin there. I'm pretty sure it's like a 2013, this one. Yeah, I'm going to include this in the 4 for the 4th. So how do you enter 4 for the 4th? Well, one, you got to comment on my videos, and you got to be subscribed. And I'd really appreciate it if you click the like button. If you find this content you're worth your time, could you please share it and let other people know what's going on? You know, like maybe you got a couple of friends, you go, hey, I got this great YouTuber, his name's Canadian Stacker, he shoots straight and you know, tells it how it is, and that would be wonderful if you could do that. Now, you guys are probably here. If you're at the end of the video, I really appreciate all my stackers are here to the end. You might have noticed these plushies that I have set up in here. These are from my wife's plushie store. I believe the name of it's Beyond Hooked, but she is an amazing crocheter. These are all available for sale. I just told my wife that I like her stuff so much that I wanted to put it on my YouTube channel for everyone to look at. These all range from $20 to $50 depending on which one you purchase. I think this bear is $50 plus shipping and handling, and I think this little frog here is like 20, and I think these guys are 30, and the koalas in the back here I believe are 25 or 30 as well. And you got this hippo over here, I think that's like 35 or something. So if you're looking for something for the kids or the grandkids that are handcrafted, made in Canada with 100% sourced Canadian wool, Canadian handcrafted Canadian stuffing, or we do import from Turkey. My wife is a big believer in looking around for the finest made wools, and she imports from Turkey and the United States. Most of her imports and stuff that she does is all from Canada, the United States, Great Britain, New Zealand, Australia, that kind of thing. She tries to stick with basically Canada and North American made, and of course obviously our Commonwealth brothers and sisters. And the reason for that is that we believe in my household that handcrafted is better than machine crafted. You can go out and you can buy like 1,000 Nemo toys, and your son and your daughter will have an identical Nemo toy, and they'll be just as cruddy as every other Nemo toy, and there'll be like I said, a million of those toys. But I'll guarantee you that no child on the face of this earth is going to have any one of these toys except for who purchases this toy. They're all made with love, they're all handcrafted, and they're all absolutely amazing. And they're made right here in Canada. You know, like what's more patriotic than purchasing something that's made in North America? If you're an American, we are a hardworking Canadian family who believes in patriotism and real down to earth beliefs. And if you'd like to support my wife and her crafting, please feel free to use my email address, which is bigcanuck at gmail.com. That's BIGCANUKONE at gmail.com. You can get in contact with me, and I will give you my wife's particulars for this. Or if you'd like to leave a comment down in the box below, hey Big Canuck, hey Canadian Snacker, we would like more information on that. I will pop in my wife's email for her online Etsy store. Once again, I believe it's Beyond Hooked. I'm not 100%. So if you're really interested, check in the notes below in the description, and I will pop into the description box how to get in contact with her in regards to these amazing handcrafted items here. So until next time, keep your thumb to the sky, keep on stacking, and keep on being awesome, because life is short and we should try to live it to the fullest. Bye for now.